Alright, so we all know that this Bears-Lions game is going to be pretty intense. Lions were not the same last year compared to this year, so I can't really predict an accurate score for today, but I will try my best. As we all know, the Lions are the only team in the NFC undefeated right now. Well, with the Packers, of course, but that remains to be seen as to whether or not that they can match up with the Packers. In fact, Matthew Stafford is definitely not Matt. He's no Aaron Rodgers, but we all know he can throw the ball pretty long. I mean, we all remember that little play last year in which there was like about 24 seconds or something on the clock, and Calvin Johnson made that awesome catch, and then he went down to the ground. The ball just he had emotion with the ball, like he was about to celebrate. He was gonna celebrate, and he hits the ball on the ground, and the ball moves a little bit, and then they call it incomplete. Should have been a win. The other game versus the Bears, Ndamukong Suh threw a forearm at Jay Cutler's head, but when in fact he actually threw his arm on the back of Jay Cutler, and they called a penalty, judgment call. You could say it's a bad call, but you had to make those calls if you're a referee. So you could say that the Lions should have won those two games. But let's get to offense and defense. Lions offense. They're spectacular. They're not perfect. I mean, Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback, though he will make mistakes and he will crack under pressure, like we saw last year. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, whatever you want to call him, he's a beast all around, and we all know that from experience. Hopefully, Tim Jennings or Charles Tillman can contain that kid, because that guy is gonna rack up some yardage. Hopefully, it's not like Steve Smith of Sunday's game. When it comes to yardage. Running backs, Javid Best, he's really good, but with that offensive line, he's not really gonna rack up Matt Forte numbers like Matt Forte did last week. Bears offense. Speaking of Matt Forte, will Matt Forte have running lanes like he did last week? Now keep in mind that this Lions defensive line is good. Ndamukong Suh, and I think it's Nick Fairley. I think his name Farley. I don't know. They're good. Kyle Vandenbosch at defensive end. Oh my gosh, the defensive line is great. Their secondary really needs some work. I mean, we all know that. I think they were one of the top defenses in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken, but their secondary cracks under pressure, and they will get burned. Linebackers, it's whatever. Bears defense, I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith in them. They are one of the worst defenses right now. But you know what? Look who we faced. We faced the Falcons. The Falcons game was actually a good game for us. But we faced the Saints, and we faced the Packers. They're going to put up some numbers on you. And frankly, do you blame the Bears for racking up that much yardage? And Cam Newton as well. Come on, Cam Newton, who's a monster. Do you blame him for getting that much yardage? I wouldn't. In fact, I think the Bears are going to stop the Lions on offense. Now, whether or not that they're going to stop Calvin Johnson is something else, like I said, but they are going to limit the Lions a lot, and expect the Bears to get a couple of sacks in there as well. Lots of pressure from them is needed for a win. And that's why I'm going to predict a win for the Bears. Final score 28-24.